Assalamu alaikum. So today we are going to study Lakoff's thesis. What were the ideas of the Lakoff about the women's language? It's a critical overview of the empirical evidence for the Lakoff's thesis. Let's get started. First of all, Lakoff's thesis said the women use hedges for the lighter the tone of assertive statements. It's a kind of it's for example they use the kind of sort of it seems like for example they will say it seems she doesn't like me. So it seems these words are called as the hedges. And secondly, Lakoff said women use super polite form by women use polite form. For example, if you don't mind, can I ask something? Is it okay if I call you by your nickname, dear? To be polite is a psychological aspect of women, what they are mostly repressed in their houses, offices, and schools. So it is obvious. And thirdly, the lack of said the women use empty adjectives. What are empty adjectives? They are adorable, divine, gorgeous. We can say that the adjective which possesses no meaning but are used because they sounds good. For example, "Aw, how adorable she is! The day was such a divine. It was a gorgeous meal, John." And then, fourthly, Lakoff said, women speak less frequently. Women speaks less. And then he said, the women avoid curse language and expletives. For example, they didn't use lower varieties of language. They hate abusive language. Then he said the women use tag questions. For example, a woman will say, if you don't mind eating this, do you? And then he said women use hypercorrect grammar and pronunciation. They avoid and or double negation. Mostly men use double negations. They use it for the better pronunciation. They have good grammar that is correct. They only use correct grammar. For example, a male will say, I haven't go no time for supper. But women will always use a good grammar, a correct grammar. Then he said women use indirect request. For example, oh, I am so thirsty, instead of saying I need water. So the lastly, like I've said, women speaks in italic. They use tone to emphasize certain words. For example, so very quiet. He was very polite. She was so arrogant. They will say like this. So lack of it was a sort of old fashioned he was. So